What is happening in the world of media right now is, well, it's more than just another business headline. It's a seismic shift. We are literally watching the biggest battle for consolidation in decades play out in real time. And this fight? It's going to fundamentally reshape the entertainment you and I watch for years to come. All right, let's get into it.
Everything kicks off with this number, $82.7 billion. That's Netflix's opening bid to buy the absolute crown jewels of Warner Bros. Discovery. And you have to understand, this isn't just a big shopping trip. This is a move to end the streaming wars once and for all. It would make Netflix an untouchable titan with a library nobody could even dream of matching.
But then, just 3 days later, bam, the entire script gets thrown out the window. Paramount comes roaring onto the scene, launching a hostile takeover bid for a jaw-dropping $108.4 billion. Their plan? It's simple. Steal the deal of the century right out from under Netflix.
So you might be thinking, this is just a juicy corporate soap opera, right? Rival CEOs duking it out. But it's so much more than that. This is about deep, powerful economic forces, and it reveals something absolutely crucial about how our modern digital world actually works. So what is really going on here?
To really get this whole battle, we have to back up for a second and understand the fundamental problem that put a giant like Warner Bros. Discovery on the auction block in the first place. This wasn't some random fire sale. It was the inevitable endgame of these huge, conflicting economic pressures.
So here's the economic vice Warner Bros. Was trapped in. It's fascinating. On one side, you have the old cable TV model. It's just dying. People are cutting the cord faster than ever. Ad money is drying up. It's like a slow, painful bleed every single quarter. But then on the other side, you have the new streaming model, which is crazy expensive. It demands billions in new content every single year, and you need this massive global scale just to have a prayer of turning a profit. That whole structure, it was just completely unsustainable.
So the leadership at Warner Bros. Came up with a pretty clever solution. They decided to split the company in two. Basically, they'd slice off all the old, dying cable stuff, all that baggage, and create this clean, streamlined company that was only the amazing movie studio and the streaming business. And by doing that, they made themselves the perfect, most attractive target imaginable for a buyer like Netflix, a company that only cares about the streaming future, not the cable past.
And this is where Netflix pounces. They see this perfect opportunity laid out on a silver platter. They could grab all the crown jewels, the studio, the streaming service, all that legendary IP, without having to take on any of the dead weight from the cable business. It was, honestly, a strategic masterstroke.
And just look at the treasure chest they'd be getting. First, the IP. I mean, we're not just talking about a few TV shows. We're talking about cultural cornerstones. Harry Potter, Batman, Game of Thrones, the entire HBO library. These are modern myths that will make money for the next 100 years. Then you get the actual production machine. World-class studios, directors, actors. And finally, you get the HBO brand itself, which is pretty much the only name in streaming that automatically means quality.
So here's the real kicker. This isn't just about Netflix buying a bunch of shows. No, this is a fundamental transformation of what Netflix is. They would go from being just a distributor of content to a fully, vertically integrated giant. Just imagine a world where Netflix streams the next Game of Thrones, and they also own the studio that made it, the data that told them to make it, and the global platform that delivers it to you. That's not a business, that's a fortress. It creates an economic moat that is almost impossible for anyone else to cross.
But just when Netflix was about to pop the champagne and declare victory, the story takes this incredible wild turn. Out of nowhere, Paramount launches an all-out, high-stakes assault to hijack the entire deal.
And they do it with something called a hostile takeover. Now, what does hostile actually mean here? It sounds dramatic and, well, it kind of is. It's less about shouting in a boardroom and more about pure strategy. It means they're not even bothering to ask Warner's management for permission. They're going over their heads, straight to the real owners, the shareholders, with a massive pile of cash, basically trying to force their hand. It's an incredibly aggressive corporate move.
So why would Paramount risk everything on a move this aggressive? This quote just nails it. It's about pure, raw survival. For a company like Paramount, a combined Netflix-Warner Bros. Isn't just another competitor. It's an extinction-level event. A monster company with that much IP, that much production power, and that much data could just outspend everyone else into oblivion. It's do or die.
Now, their strategy might seem desperate, but from a business point of view, it's actually really smart. It's a two-pronged attack. First, just by making this huge offer, they automatically drive up the price for Netflix and guarantee a long, messy, expensive fight with regulators. They're trying to make the deal so painful that Netflix might just walk away. Second, they can go to the regulators and pitch themselves as the better option, arguing that a Paramount-Warner merger would create a strong number two to compete with Netflix, which is way better for us, the consumers, than letting one giant rule everything.
And this is where the whole story pivots. Because of Paramount's move, the real battlefield is no longer Wall Street. It's now in the halls of power in Washington, D.C. This corporate drama has just turned into a high-stakes geopolitical chess match.
Yeah, if you were hoping this would all be sorted out by next month, think again. Look at this timeline. We're talking about a year, maybe 18 months of intense scrutiny from a bunch of different government agencies. In the tech and media world, 18 months is basically an eternity. And approval? It is far, far from guaranteed.
So this deal is going to be put under the microscope by the usual suspects. The Department of Justice, the FTC, they're the anti-monopoly cops. But look at that third one, CFIUS, the Committee on Foreign Investment, and that is the real tell. When CFIUS gets involved, you know this has stopped being just about business.
And this is maybe the most important takeaway of this whole thing. For the regulators, this isn't just about whether your Netflix subscription is going to cost a few more bucks. It's about who controls America's cultural exports. I mean, think about it. The company that controls Hollywood has a massive say in how the rest of the world sees America. This is about data, it's about foreign money, and it's about global soft power.
Okay, so let's zoom all the way out. What does this massive corporate war actually tell us about the future? Not just for entertainment, but for the entire digital economy. Because what's happening here is a preview of what's happening everywhere.
What we're seeing is the end game. In the digital world, size is everything. It's like a giant snowball rolling downhill. The bigger you are, the more data you have, which lets you make smarter bets, which gets you more subscribers, which makes you even bigger. It's a cycle that only helps the giants. And for everyone else, well, the middle ground is just disappearing. You either become one of the giants that owns a global platform, or you become a small player that makes stuff to sell to them. There's no in-between anymore.
So as we watch this all play out, it really boils down to three possible endings. Scenario 1, Netflix wins, but the regulators make them give up a few things. Scenario 2, Paramount's crazy gamble actually works. They either win the whole thing or at least force a chaotic bidding war. Or Scenario 3, the whole deal gets so tied up in regulatory knots that both sides give up and Warner Bros. Just goes back to its original plan of splitting itself into two.
Which leaves us with the one massive question at the heart of this entire battle. We are watching the brutal economics of consolidation reshape a huge global industry right in front of our faces. So what's the right move here? Should regulators step in and stop one company from having this much cultural and economic power? Or should they just let the market decide survival of the fittest? The answer to that question is going to define the next decade of entertainment for all of us.